Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome to yet another episode on Little's Law YouTube channel. Today we are going to see about one of the functions in LoadRunner. Let's see what is the use of that function and how are we going to use it with few examples in this video. And before we move on to video, this is me, Vasant Shanmugam. I welcome you all once again. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe to our channel, like, comment your questions and feedbacks, and share the video with your friends. So today in this video we are going to see about the first function, which is the lr underscore abort, which is the LoadRunner abort. So what is LoadRunner abort, the lr underscore abort? What does this do in the script, or what exactly is the use of using the lr abort? So before we see what is the use, let's see how to add the lr abort. So there are two ways of doing it. So if you click onto the script here, and if you enter lr and control spacebar, so this will help us with the intelligence, and then we can select the first function, which is the lr abort. So we can choose it, and then I'm closing it. So we have added the lrabort function, and there is one more way we can do it. So go to the toolbox, and in the toolbox the very first function is the lrabort. So you can drag it down to the preferred or the required location, and now we have the lrabort. So why or what does this lrabort do? So this lrabort function is used to abort the execution of a virtual user script. So abort in the sense it will stop the execution, stop executing the actions section, and executes the vuser end section, and with that it will end the execution. So no matter what or where it is placed, so when the execution reaches this lrabort, automatically the test gets stopped or the test gets aborted, and the test will end. So let's see an example. Before that, let me delete it and let me run this script, and I will show you what happens. So I'm running this script. So this is one of the script that we have recorded in our previous recordings. So where the user enters the store and log into the application, and once he logged in, he go to the other page and then sign out of the application. So this is a very basic or very simple flow here. So now you can see that the script has completely executed till the last step. So here you can see the line 151 has got executed and the script has passed. So now let's bring in the lr abort at any point of any stage. Let's say first, for example, like under the click sign in or before the end of the first transaction. So here let's drag and drop it. So here we have lr abort, and let's now run the test or run the script and see what happens. So we are running the script, and as we discussed, or as I told you earlier, so when the user reaches the lr abort, or when the script reaches the line where we have the lr abort, so you can see here automatically the execution has stopped and the user has ended his execution, and here we can see the script is aborted. And in the replay summary, or in the output, we can see the abort was called from an action, which is the first action, which is the first transaction, and that has ended the vuser, and with that the lrabort has stopped the execution. So now let's do one more thing. Let's do another settings change, and let's see how does it work. Say for example, if we are running, so initially we ran for one iteration. Let's see, we ran it for two iterations. So here we can see we are running it for two iterations, and let's see what happens with two iterations, because this is a kind of a similar scenario what we do when we do a load test, because during a load test we'll have multiple rounds of executions or multiple iterations of execution. So let's see what happens. So this is a kind of emulating that particular scenario. So now we have seen the first transaction or the first iteration has completed, and we have reached to the user end, and here we can see the script has completely aborted. It did not even go to the second iteration. So with this we know that if there is any issues or if there is any scenario where we reach the LR abort, that particular script or that particular user will end his execution from the load test or during the validation test. So that is how the LR abort works. So let's now see with an example. So now in this example, we will see what if, or in a scenario where when we do a load test and at a particular point of time, if there is no response from the server or if there are any network issues, so automatically we get a 500 status code or any 400 or 404, the page not found. If any of that particular error has occurred, we instruct the script or we instruct this user to abort his execution, and that will not create or that will not make any distortion to the results. So let's see how to do that. So before that, let's remove this, and we will set this LR abort in our third or fourth transaction. So here we'll set this particular transaction, a particular abort transaction. And before that, let's declare the variable, which is server response code. So let's declare it int server response code as the variable, and then let's move to the place where we want to abort, and here in it, in this place, let's add it. So server, so once you enter server and if it is clearly declared, automatically you can use your IntelliSense, and by entering the control under spacebar we can get the value. And now we have got the server response code here, and let's enter the value. So web underscore get int property will get us the value of it. So we'll enter the HTTP. So here we can see this is the syntax where we can enter the property which we want to observe, and then inside the property we can pass the return code as the variable. So I'm passing it. So now we have got this, and now if the server response code, that is which we have already declared and which is the one that we are going to observe based on this particular transaction, the previous transaction, and if the response code is equal to 500, which is when it is not available or when it does not send any response back, so we will abort this transaction. So let me run this script and show you what happened. So let me run this script. So here I'm running this script now. So we have declared this LR abort under the fourth transaction, which is clicking the fish transaction. So under this if condition, the condition has passed, and so we have reached the LR abort transaction or the LR abort function, and hence the test has got aborted and the user has got and has to end his execution and he has to come out of the execution. So with that, we could see how does this LR abort works by bringing in a condition, and it also works depends on any of the conditions which we have to achieve. say for example, if the login is not proper or if there is any invalid login, we can use this lrabort, and using that, if the user login to fails to login, automatically the lrabort comes into picture and it stops the execution, and with that it will go to the next iteration. So I believe this video would have been very useful to you, and I believe this lrabort is used to end the execution, and this lrabort function instructs the virtual user to stop executing the actions section. So this is the actions section, and execute the vuser end section and end the execution. So let's make just one more experiment. So what we'll do is we will remove this server response code, and let's move this vuser init inside the lrabort inside the vuser init, and let's see what happens. So now we have the lrabort, because in many of these scenarios where we will keep the login part inside the vuser init. So let's see what happens. So we have now moved our lrabort inside the vuser init, and here we can see the lrabort has been stopped already, since it was found inside the vuser init. And same in scenarios where if we have this lrabort under the vuser end, so at any point of time, whenever the vuser checks in or whenever the vuser touches the lrabort, it automatically ends the vuser's execution. So I believe this video would have been very useful to you. If you have any doubts or queries, please do comment that in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until we meet you in another interesting video, it's bye from Vasan Shanmugam and Little Slaw.